so in love with their cows, why can't they just come out of the bush like everyone else, right? Pull your resources together like a cooperative or something and buy land. Buy land and, build yourself. I mean, nobody wanted you, right? And nobody want to part with their lands because nobody want to stay next to this armed terrorist. But you can change all of that if you, 2025. What is the relationship between the Fulanis and the people of Enugu? They do not share border. They don't have anything in the proximity or any kind of connection, if not for Nigeria. Now, the people of Enugu who have been killed, those who have been killed in Enugu on their farms, macheted and the rest of that, the government of Nigeria is reporting that as a clash. How can somebody who is right there peacefully in their own community, in their own farm, be clashing with a Fulani that brought his cow and guns, invaded them, destroyed their farms when they resist, then they get attacked and killed? How do you come out and say that's a clash between farmers and others? How? That is, the narrative they have in that contraption in defense of these rules. How do you have people to come and disrupt your peaceful life? And you should accept that as what? How is that right? How? I feel like I'm just talking to myself, though, but you get what I mean? Like, at that point, you just, we never get an answer. Because it's like they are so hell-bent in protecting these rogues. And they themselves don't see it as they are doing anything wrong. And that is the problem. Those who get killed have been considered just like statistics. That is even if they even acknowledge that. You see? And to the point that people have to take their destiny into their own, laws into their own hands, carry out jungle justice, because the government continue to make them so vulnerable and helpless. And they're watching you pamper these terrorists, speak glowingly of them, like budget money to rehabilitate them. Who does that? A few days ago, it was reported that the angry people of Emangu and Bokos, armed, hijacked a bus traveling through their area, was going to Kaduna and killed 13 of the passengers. And this was like a few days after the killings in Benue that triggered a lot of reactions all over the place, right? And of course, they started demanding that, like they did in Uromi. Suddenly, the Arewa rogues, the Arewa terrorist elites, they rose again. They are demanding they must bring those people to justice. Yeah. And here is a Middle Belton, Zari, I think that's his name, saying something about that.
All right, I'm prompted to do this video in response to something. You may well be aware that the Northern Governors, I don't know whether it's the Northern Governors Forum or whatever they call it, are demanding justice for, the travelers that were lynched on the plateau in Mongu, I think. Now the question is, what exactly do the Northern Governors want? Because you would remember well that while people in Benue were being massacred, over 200, where children were being burnt to ashes, there was something happening in Katsina. A notorious terrorist who kills, who rapes, who has done a lot of evil, was holding a meeting with monarchs, government officials, Nigerian military in Katsina State. There was no outrage. So exactly, I don't know if it's a point I'm making or a question I'm asking. How do we balance this two? That there is a certain group of people, group of governors that are more committed towards holding peace talks with terrorists and structuring some kind of incentives for them. But then at the same time, they tend to act differently when something else happens. An example is Uromi. An example is Plateau. So is it that once the killer is a fellow Muslim who possibly shouts Allahu Akbar, then he can waste 1,000 Muslims and then we can reward him with amnesty and hear his condition? Because I heard Bello Turji said they should stop calling him a terrorist if they want peace. And he said all that rubbish and went back to wherever he is hiding, looking well fed and all of that. And all of the soldiers, all of the monarchs, all of the government functionaries were there, and I'm sure they took whatever conditions he gave them. So what exactly is happening? Which basically is a sharp contrast to the politicians in the Middle Belt. One, a known group, the Fulani militia attacked Benue. They killed hundreds and all of that. Unfortunately, the governor was speedy to holding brief on their behalf, saying it is not the Fulani, it is foreigners and all of that. And then on the plateau, despite the fact that some time back, over 150 people were killed just within a space of 1-2 weeks. And I watched with heartbreak how humiliatingly those people were buried. Not the local government chairman was there, no politician was there, the governor was not there, his representative was not there. This was how people soaked in blood with the same clothes, boxers, the wrappers they wore when they were killed. That was how they were thrown into a mass grave and buried. Nobody came to the Bongom Just Palace to pay condolence. But then a group of travelers are going and they are lynched. And until now, you can't establish who exactly did it and for what purpose. Although arrests have been made, which is quite odd. I mean, you kill hundreds of people and nobody hears about the story of an arrest, and then travelers pass because they are from Zaria. An entourage has been sent to Zaria to pay homage, to them. What exactly is wrong with the political class of the Middle Belt? There was a certain kind of bondage our forefathers cut us off from. It would be unfortunate that at this day and age, we are the ones, as educated as we are, with all of the executive powers that the masses have entrusted in your hands, you are tracing us back to that. Human life is precious, and whoever is behind any attack should face the full weight of the law. But it would be unfortunate if our attitude towards these things shows cowardice. You will have to man up, you will have to brave up, and you will have to confront this evil. Not as people who are seeking the blessings of emirs, but people who love humanity.
Bless you, man. So he's a Middle Belton, and his reaction is, very much valid. You see, when the terrorists slaughter hundreds, there's this palpable kind of like a silence, this graveyard silence that you want to call them out and say, Starting of Yokoto says something, or Emir of Kano. We don't even know which one we answer, because now if you say Emir of Kano, now 2% will stand up. But still, or governors, the Fulani governors, the ones who always call the Northern Governors Forum, as well as the Middle Belt and the Middle Belt governors, who are more or less like a stooge, lily liver, spineless mofos in there that are quite comfortable playing second fiddle, right? So these Fulani oligarchs in northern Nigeria, you can't even imagine. So the younger ones from the Middle Belt are asking questions. Every life matter, and that's how it should be, right? So no one should be given this sacred kind of like a right to take any life like the Fulanis are doing or anybody elsewhere. But Nigeria has become so lawless that people have to resort to self-help, jungle justice, and so on to have satisfaction from what they think is an unjust act. And of course, your politicians are milking it as it is expected. Here is one guy who did, these vloggers, okay? So it did cover, People have said that Nigeria have a problem. You see, Nigeria has a problem of homelessness. And at the same time, looters, treasury looters, all these criminals, they have abandoned properties in the major cities of Nigeria. Some of them proceed of corruption, some of them proceed of crime, but somehow, these homes remained unoccupied from Lagos to Abuja to Port Harcourt and a few other places scattered across Nigeria. But this one did a particular one on this estate. But again, this one is believed to be owned by a Bao. You see that guy that is next to Dangote? He's also into oil. Is also like Bao, Abina Bua Bao. What kind of watch this?
Hi, can you imagine? Up to now, this guy is not saying anything about these houses, this Bua estate. Up to now, all the houses are empty. Imagine, all these houses are still empty. Why most of our elders, they have one kind stubbornness. Haba. Can you see all this house? Every year it increases prices. Every year, like last year, these houses are 700 million naira. But now, from January to this month, the houses are now 1 billion. For you to show that he's not even ready to sell these houses, he's showing that the houses are not for sale. How can you be pricing? How can you be giving price of 700 million last year? This year 1 billion. 300 million increment. For what? Inside estate, buying a plot of land like this, because these houses are old houses now. These are old houses. Who can come and buy this house? 1 billion naira. It's too much money. Just oh God. This almost 12 to 13 years. These houses are empty. You just kept them like that. Can you imagine? Imagine all this nonsense have to be stopped. All this nonsense have to be stopped. They have to be stopped. It's very wrong. It's very wrong. Very, very wrong.
So bro was like, man, look at all this stuff wasting away here. This could be occupied. You could put it, you can even put it up for like a council, make them like council houses. Civil servants and all them, just give it to them like, come and pay 10,000 naira every month. Council houses, and then you can run your water, you can run water and utility. It's called utility. So you pay utility, but your rent is 10,000 naira. Live in a mansion rather than it wasting away. But about me, I know be billionaire. I don't get too many houses, so I can't possibly advise them. But come on, man. There are others too in that same category by criminal politician, but we can't fault that one, Right. Here is something, okay? I have just about 3 quick stuff to drop, and then we can go take calls. Or would you want me to just run it until I am out of steam? Don't worry, I'll check. But before then, this may not be good news. To those of you who patronizes the women of Easy Virtue in Ibadan, they have demolished. They have demolished your Ashewo household.
Wọ́n ti fọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n ti fọ bàbá ní aṣẹ́wó jẹ́.
No, you know, if you call a woman, you know, a shower is derogatory, even though some people don't see it that way. But it's pretty much like, you know, demeaning. It's the right name they call it, but just say, you know, woman of easy virtue. Transactional women and men too. Because without a buyer, a seller won't open shop. So those of you who look at a woman and say, ah, she's, you say you be a show, because now they patronize them, now they, you are the customers they are serving. So that's why we use the word women of easy virtue. That's quite, you know, a fancy way to describe them. So, but their sporting Ibadan has been taken off. So everybody would have to relocate to Mania, maybe Gates. Those of you who can manage Iwo Road, fine. Or everybody should just go straight to UI, New Abi, Agbo, Ibadan Poly. Shadow protection. Talking about protection. Here is a young man or a man showing us what it is like to encounter the Nigerian police and then have an idea of how they operate. You see, Nigerian policemen don't have that kind of intel thing. You see, when they do their stop and search on the road, they are just fishing. You know what's that? Just look out for what is going to stick. One experience with these, two experiences, by the way, with a man and then with a lady. And they, what do you call it? For the man, it was about class. For the woman, it is about cash. But guess what? Both. It's always about cash too. Watch this.
Good morning, officer. Alhamdulillah. Mr. Ibrahim. Lẹ́kùn borúkọ mi gbogbo ni Ibrahim. Fún bọ́ọ̀kù wa máa ń dé tù náà. Ó yé mi bọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Fájú fi tẹ̀ mí. Ẹni first person tẹ máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi. Mo dẹ̀ máa doctor report fún ọ̀kẹ́. Salam sa. Oye. Salam Aricha ọ̀sẹ̀ ń kù mí wá ṣe. Wàlá ìwádìí. Ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ni Ọ̀yọ́ Aláàfin. Radical. Bọ̀ ẹ mọ̀ kọ́tẹ́ ṣe ẹ rí mọ́tò mi kọ́kọ́ lẹ́fẹ́ stop tẹ́lẹ̀. Mo rọ mọ́tò kíní mọ́tò yẹn ló wà. Tẹ́lẹ̀ rí mọ́tò mi láyé kí wọ́n lọ pé.
Mo ti ilé màá rí mọ́tò tó dá báyìí màá wá lọ stop mọ́tò méje yẹn. Ṣé ìwádìí wọn kọ́lé yìí? Ṣé ìwádìí mọ́tò tó dá báyìí wá lọ stop mọ́tò mi tí ò ṣe é mọ́ ẹ̀jú kí.
Let me go blood test then you go your way.